Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In here, I want to explain about the video type C. The first thing that I want to explain is about the history of Kashmir. The second is the future without plastic. The third is the privacy issue of TikTok. The fourth is about the trip of Antarctica, and the last one is raising fund for leukemia. The first one is about the history of Kashmir. A century ago, there was no such thing as the country we know as Pakistan for 100 years. This whole area was controlled by Britain and was known as British India. Eventually, in 1947, it became independent from Britain. And in August at the 15th, 1947, Independence Day for India, but instead of becoming one single country, it was quickly split into two parts in a plain that's known as the partition. There was India, which became majority Hindu country, and Pakistan, a homeland for British India's Muslim, and Muslim population, while there was celebrating for some, it meant millions of people had to leave their homes. And many Muslims and Hindus who lived side by side became enemies. A war soon broke out between the new countries over an area of land called Kashmir. And then got a lot of world leaders worried that things could escalate, especially because Pakistan and India have big armies and nuclear weapons. And Pakistan later released the Indian pilot, and it says it's planning to crack down on terrorist groups. Now many are hoping the two countries will keep it cool, and just like in this border tradition, ends with their rivalry with a handshake. And then the second one is about the future without plastic. If you go back in time, a world without plastic was very much a reality. It only became popular in the middle of the 20th century, and apparently not just with humans. Plastic, raincoat, and rain hat. It was cheap to make, long-lasting, and a breeze to clean a to clean practical cord, and it wasn't long before we stopped bothering to clean it and made plastic items that were so cheap they could be used once and then they throw away. Today, most of us use single-use plastic every day, from cutlery, from culture to plates, packaging food containers, and straws, and coffee cups, plastic bags, and you get the point. And the fact that last week a report found that since the year 2000, we've used more plastic than in all the years before. But that also means we chuck out more than even nearly 300 million tons of plastic every year. About 14% of that is self-designed, but we use just once. And then the next material is about TikTok. In here I got is a platform for you share a short video. It is about the benefits and how to use it, as well as the negative impact of TikTok. And then the next news that I got is the trip of Antarctica. At the very bottom of the globe, covered in ice, lies the coldest, driest, and windiest place on Earth, Antarctica. Through weather during the day is going to be well below freezing. About 500 people had to work in Antarctica either by cold, actually icebreaker to be precise, or by plane. Not very often you get to land on a runway that's carved into a moving glacier. Stepping foot on Antarctica is an awesome feeling. It's a big, you feel like a little speck in the middle of nowhere. The other weird things that the 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 tourist the person uh, that reporter feels is that at this time of year the sun doesn't set at all, so it can be the middle of the night and it's still look like a daytime. And then the next and the last topic is about raising fund for leukemia. In here, the reporter, which is Jack Kennedy, not a reporter, I think, but Jack Kennedy bring us to learn more about a major fundraiser called the World's Greatest Chef. The World's Greatest Chef involves people chefing or dyeing their hair to raise money for the Leukemia Foundation. Leukemia Foundation is a national charity that's dedicated to supporting people with leukemia. That's the type of cancer, the blood that happens when something goes wrong with your bone marrow. It starts making abnormal blood cells, and that's when you can get really sick. People of all ages can get leukemia, but certain types are more common in different age groups. It's actually one of the more common cancers that kids can get, but the treatments are really good these days. April's the one of the leukemia, the one have leukemia in his body. Explained about her great uncle. He was one of the first people in Australia to have bone marrow transplant. He got leukemia back in the early 18th, and and April is not quite leukemia. That's why this year she's taking part in the world's greatest chef. Now, at that time, it's April turn. She's gonna dye her hair blue, and hopefully it looks pretty cool. And the main thing is they're helping out a really good cause. All right, that's all about the video number type 3 that I can explain. Thank you so much. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.